Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thanksgiving weekend service. We'd like to begin with Sutra Chanting, and we'll chant Juseige with the words on the screen. Gagon chosegan hishimu jodo shigan fumanzok seifu joshogak gaomunyoko fuidai seshu fusai shobingu seifu joshogak gashi jobutsudo myosho chojippo kukyomi shomon seifu joshogak ryokujin shonen joe shubongyo shigumu jodo isho tenin shi jinniki endaiko fushomu saido shoujo sankumyo kosai shuyakunam kai chiegen meshi konmo an heisoku sho akudo tsudatsu zen shumon koso jo manzok iyo no jippo nichigatsu shujuki tenko onpugen ishu kai hozo koseku dokuho jo dai shuchu seppo shishiku kuyo isai butsu gusoku shutoku hon ganne shitsujoman toku isangai o nyobutsu mugechi tsudatsu mi fusho gangaku erik toshi sai shosom shiganya koka daisen o kando koku shotenin to chin myoke namandabu 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 gamni shikudoku byodo seisai dohopbo daishin ojo Okay, next we'd like to recite the three treasures, and we will put the words on the screen. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay, I'd like to deliver just a brief post-Thanksgiving Dharma message. I hope you had a nice Thanksgiving. Gary T. Groundhog wanted to be in the Dharma Talk, but you know what? He's stuffed on stuffing. He's actually also stuffed on mashed potatoes, carrots, yams, green beans. You can see he had to unbutton his jacket there because he's so full. Now, he's a herbivore, right? Not a carnivore. Normally, groundhogs are omnivores. They mostly eat grass and that kind of stuff, but they'll eat some things like bugs and stuff like that. But for Gary, it's a conscious choice to be an herbivore or herbivore, right? And so, he's been eating leftovers since Thursday. How about you? Have you been get lots of leftovers? I hope you were able to. Now, Gary's lucky because he got to have kind of a normal Thanksgiving. Right, everyone's here, the gang's all here, and so they were able to just have their kind of normal Thanksgiving get-together. But I think many of you did not. Many of us weren't able to get together with family like we normally do. And it feels weird, right? Because this is the time of year when you get together with family, for many people, right? And so it might have seemed kind of strange. It can be kind of lonely for people, especially if you aren't able to get together with family and you haven't seen them for a long time. Some people don't have family around. And so, this year even more so, right? I think for everyone, the difficulty of not being able to be together with our loved ones. Now, some people also have lost loved ones recently. In this past year, whether it's due to coronavirus or just natural causes or whatever, it's always hard. And the holidays, I think it's even more difficult, right? This is the really hard time of year to lose someone and to not be able to have the comfort of family right there with you, I think can be very difficult. Now, one of the difficulties for all of us is that things have changed a lot, right? And so it's not like normal. Or, some people say it's the new normal. But I think Buddhism, one of the things that Buddhism wants us to think about, what is normal? Right? I think we know what normal is. And maybe normal is how you thought things are. Right? And so we're going up until early this year, everything's normal, everything's great. Right? And then boom, everything changes. And so we kind of think maybe that I think the way it was before is normal, right? And so when things change, it makes us uncomfortable or uneasy, right? And that's certainly true that when things change, it can really kind of confuse us, right? But I think Buddhism wants us to kind of to ask, what is normal? Do you think that's really normal? If we cling to that, right? And we think, no, that's normal. That's the way it is. If things are different, I can't handle it, right? We're going to cause ourselves suffering. We're going to have difficulties if we cling to what we think is normal, so that when things change, right, we're unable to change with it. Impermanence, one of the basic teachings of Buddha, one of the ways to understand it is things are always changing. And I think we forget that sometimes. And maybe that's one of the big lessons of this past year, right? That impermanence will strike at any time. Things are actually always changing. We just, if it changes gradually, we don't notice. It's kind of like how your hair grows and grows. Each day when you look, you don't realize that your hair's growing, right? And then a month later you look and your hair's grown out, but you've been seeing it grow little by little each day. You don't realize it changed. But if you look at a picture from a month ago, oh my gosh, wow, my hair really grew, right? And so a lot of times when those changes happen little by little, we maybe don't notice. But when, boom, when things change suddenly, that's when we realize, whoa, things really changed, huh? And can I handle it? Am I okay? And so it's okay to have difficulty with change. I think that's normal, right? But Buddhism also teaches us that change is normal. So, it's kind of middle way maybe between those two things. I was thinking about how when I was a student, I moved out here to California, to Berkeley in 1996 to study Buddhism. And I lived at the dorm in Berkeley and went to class and often got extensions on my papers because I had a really hard time writing and wasn't able to turn them in on time. So I'd get an extension from the teacher. And rather than go home to Massachusetts, I'd stay in Berkeley to work on my paper. At the time, I was like, I'll go home next time. Right? And then next time have trouble with my paper and stay in Berkeley for the summer or whatever, and then I'll go for Thanksgiving or whatever. And, sometimes I did go back, but there are many times when I didn't. And there was always that feeling, I'll go back next time. It'll be okay. I need to do this now. But looking back, I really missed a lot of opportunities to see my parents. I should have gone back more, but I thought, this is normal. I'll be able to go some other time. I took that home being there kind of for granted. And thinking back, if I could do things over again, I would definitely try to go home more, see my parents more. But, sometimes that's how things are and that's how our relationships are. So I can't go back and change the past. Right? I do feel bad for not visiting my parents more and not taking advantage of the time I was home more either, right? Because I go home and then I'd want to go hang out with friends rather than hang out with my parents, right? But speaking now, 25 years later for me, right? And I wish both my parents died while I was in Berkeley at school. I wasn't there when they passed and, thinking back, I really wish I'd gone back more and was able to spend more time with them. I'm kind of talking about this because normally, right, talking about normal, this Thanksgiving weekend, the college students would be back from school, right? And we didn't used to have this service. The previous minister, right, that was his family time, so this was kind of a vacation weekend for the minister. But I realized, I'm here. I don't have family to go visit somewhere else. So let's have service so that the kids can come if they want to, right? And that they can do something with their family. People really liked having service on Thanksgiving weekend, I think. And so I could have taken this one off too, and who knows, maybe I should have. But I also kind of wanted to be able to put this message out there. So, I've been talking about AAA life a lot, but another big one for me is middle way. And, we might start to feel bad about something. I feel bad for, how what I did when I was in college or grad school studying to become a minister. But at the same time, it's who I was. That's where I was at. Right? And so mixed with the regret is also, that's who I am. I have to accept that. There's parts of me I would like to change. Parts of me that I can see room for improvement. And yet, I think I don't know if stubborn is the right word, although it probably fits, but also kind of set in my ways. I guess that is a kind of stubbornness, right? And I don't know if it gets harder to change as you get older. And yet, sometimes getting older gives you some perspective. Trying to learn, also, maybe being a Buddhist minister helps, right? Because I have to think about this stuff all the time. And even though I often maybe don't apply it to myself, that's the important thing. It's not to judge others and try and tell other people that they need to change. It's Maybe I need to change. Maybe I can see things in myself that I need to change. And yet, Amida Buddha accepts me as I am. I'm okay as I am, right? Amida Buddha is not going to kick me out or not welcome me until I change. I don't have to change at all for Amida Buddha to accept me. And yet, when Amida Buddha accepts me, maybe that's when change becomes possible. You know, in the web of causes and conditions, living with people, amongst people, right? Realizing my actions have impact on others, and my actions do have results and consequences that I need to be responsible for. And yet also realizing, wow, you know what? It's not all about me, and the incredible community that helps each other, takes care of each other, right? And this big Dharma family, right? Not just blood family, but Dharma family. It's kind of a community. But it's also a way that we're all linked together. So on this Thanksgiving weekend, right, things are different. Kids maybe have been living at home for months now, or maybe some of you have come back, right? Let's try and be aware of how special this life is, right? Being aware of that, this appreciation coming out, right? And this gratitude. Realizing even though things aren't like normal, even though we may wish things were a different way, if we can see how special our life is in the whatever circumstances we find ourselves in, right? That appreciation comes out, and try and live our lives authentically, right? And I think middle way, maybe, you know, finding myself at an extreme and then being able to kind of pull away from that extreme back to the middle. I think is what Amida Buddha wants for us. Amida Buddha wants us to be happy and healthy, right? Shakyamuni Buddha wants us to be happy and healthy. And so by saying the Nembutsu, trying to have this awareness and appreciation, trying to live an authentic life, maybe we can get a little bit closer to that. Oh, wait, I hear something. Oh, look, somebody just woke up. He buttoned his thing, I guess. He kind of slept off all the leftovers. Glad you could make it, Gary, right? Say hi to everybody. He's happy, right? He's had a good Thanksgiving. I hope you did too. Take care, everyone. We're going to have at least one more service for the rest of this year. A few weeks into gratitude season. Well, now we're only a few days in, but, you know, please take care, and we'll see you very soon. Why don't we close with Gassho? Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda. Namanda. Okay, bye, bye-bye.